Hey y'all, it's your girl Kiwi Love You Kinks. I'm back with another video. Okay, so right now I'm in a very meditative state of mind, and 2 Fridays ago I celebrated my 24th birthday, and I really feel like right now I'm just reflecting on all of my experiences, everything that I've ever done, everything I've ever said, everything I've ever thought. And it's strange because earlier last year I was thinking about how I literally had to think about how old I was turning. I was like, damn, I turned 24. I'm 24 next year. Like that's what it literally crossed me. Like I was like reaching this highlight, a real point in my life. Like that's what it felt like. So this birthday that I just recently had, this 24th birthday that I just had, it was very different. I want to say that the way that I felt, the way that the people around me, the way that they made me feel, I felt so loved. I felt loved, I felt appreciated, I felt like everything that I've worked for is finally starting to come to me. All of the things that I've been manifesting, all of the things that I've been putting in my habits, everything that I have prayed for, cried for, is starting to find its way back to me. And I think it got to this point because it took a long time for me to be on the receiving end of things. I'm still learning how to do that now. Like, I was one of those young women, and I still am to a certain extent. Like, I struggled with being on the receiving end of things. And what I mean by being on the receiving end of things is allowing people to give you blessings. And I don't know how to know, I'm trying to find a little way to describe it because a lot of people don't necessarily look at it that way, but I look at it like someone who is trying to help you and they're doing it out of the generosity of their self. And so I used to struggle with that. Like, I didn't know how to let people help me. Like, I really had to be in a vulnerable state to even be on the receiving end of it. Like, I was so against it. I felt like I had to get it my own way. I had to find my own way to heal. I had to find my own way to get myself out of a jam. I had to depend on myself. That's what I believed. And as I grew older, I learned that you don't always have to be the person that gets yourself out of something. Eventually, you will be at that point in your life where you have to get yourself out of something. And for me, it happened when I was 20. When I moved into my first apartment, I had a car accident and I hit a semi-truck. I damaged the frontal lobe of my brain. I have a video on that if you guys wanted to go back and look at it. It wasn't visible for so long because I was learning to cope with the situation. When I really started to release videos on my YouTube channel, that was one of those events that kind of happened because I kind of wanted to share with you guys what my experience was when I first moved out. And I didn't realize like how traumatic it was for me. When I actually got into the point where I was actually accepted to what type of things that were happening to me in my mind, that was what made me take the videos down. I went through this whole thing, like I cut my hair, and it was all of these different things that was happening to me at one time. And it was so many blessings that I was having when I first moved out. And I didn't know how to process all of that. I was so young and I was so confident. I was just, all the positive things I could think of myself, like that's how I saw myself at that point in my life. And I see that for myself now, but it took me some time to circle back to who I am right now. And, you know, when I reflect back on that, like, I saw the video on my birthday. I went back and I watched it. So I never actually deleted the videos. For those of you guys who did see the video, I did not delete any of those videos. They were just invisible to the public, and I was the only person that was able to see them. And for a long time, I couldn't watch them because I would get very emotional because I almost lost my life, you know. So it's very hard to just be out here for everybody and then still be like reserved for yourself. It's kind of hard to just be like, okay, I'm here for me and I'm gonna be out here for everybody else at the same time. So I'm exposing myself and I'm also trying to like have privacy. Like that was one of those things that I struggled with right after I posted the video, and so it didn't bother me right then and there, but I had to look at had it for so long. It's been like a few years, you know. And so on my 24th birthday, I watched the video, and I was just able to just see that person that I was before everything happened, you know. And I was a very, 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 very confident, motivated, well-driven woman at that time. And I was learning how to be that, how to maintain that, because I was already that, but I didn't know how to keep that momentum going. That was the part that I learned how to do as I got older and like different life situations happened. You know, we're gonna talk about some of these things. I'm gonna start posting more TED Talks on my channel with me talking about my life and just some of the things that I might have experienced, because I noticed that there are a lot of young women out here that are trying to find their way, and I'm trying to find my way too. Everybody's trying to find their way, you know. So I just figured maybe my experience might help somebody. That was always my intentions, and I really started it because I didn't know how to communicate with my friends. So I would post videos on YouTube because that was kind of my way of like being creative and like expressing myself. That was like one of the reasons why I created my channel in the first place. But I noticed that there were a few people who were motivated from my story, and so I figured, why not share it? So on this birthday, it was different for me. One of the reasons why is because around this time last year, I had lost one of my close friends. I talked about that. And, you know, me and this guy, like, we used to have this whole thing. Like, we used to call each other at 12 o'clock on each other's birthday. You know, his was on the 3rd of March. Mine is on the 25th of March. And so last year, it was tough for me because, you know, it had just happened. You know, he passed 3 days before his birthday, which is also my mother's birthday. So it was just too much for me last year, you know. And so when my birthday came at 12 o'clock, something was telling me that it was like 12. Like something was telling me that it was midnight, like it was my birthday. Something was telling me that. And I started to look at my phone, and I didn't look at my phone, and I was just like, I don't want to look at it. And then like I looked at it like a few moments later, and I looked at the clock, and it was 12:02. And I saw that, and I just broke down, you know, because it had really sunk in for me that I wasn't going to get that phone call, you know, and that really hurt because that was one of my closest friends, you know. So it was very hard. Like it's still hard to this day, but like I'm learning how to like grow from certain things, and that is one of those things that I am slowly learning how to grow from. And I'm also his child's godmother, so I have that experience as well. That helped a lot with like my growth, and helped a lot with me just realizing how life can just hit you at the most random and unexpected times. Like it can do that to you. And I learned that before that situation, but it really hit me at that time, you know. And so this year I found myself in that grieving space again. And so it was March 24th, 11:45, something around that time, right before midnight. And I'm looking at my phone, and I'm just like, it's like my body is like back in this grieving space. I'm like going through it unknowingly. And so I'm like kind of prepping myself, like without even realizing that I'm doing that. I'm like, wow, I'm about to be back in this space. I'm about to be back in this point where I'm gonna be breaking down, and I'm gonna lose it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I felt. And so I get off my phone, and I get back on my phone, you know, trying to like, you know, not think about it. Like, no, don't do it, yeah, don't do it. Don't think about it. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. Don't think about it, you know? And so 11:59 gets here, and I am going through it. I am in my room. I feel the emotions. I feel the sadness. I feel all of that. And I'm crying. But I'm not like, I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't like one of those like how it was when I first found out about it. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that numbing feeling. Like this time I was feeling everything. And just when I thought that I was going to spend my night crying, I get a phone call at 12 o'clock. And it's one of my childhood friends. Like, he calls me and he's just like, Kiwi, happy birthday. Well, he said the mother stuff too. was my friend too, but it was different because it wasn't the person that I usually get the call from. And so I was trying to keep myself cool, you know. I'm like, yeah, you like, what you doing? I'm like, nah, man, you know, I'm just chilling, you know, trying to cover up all, you know, trying to cover up all of that and stuff. And you know, I felt so much love. That phone call was, I needed that phone call. Shout out to my friend Marshawn, bro. Your timing, man. Like, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that, you know. So, yeah, that was dope. And so, like, after that, I was just like, I'm okay. When we got off the phone, like, you know, I was like, I'm okay. You know, I told him about it, and he was just like, damn, that shit deep. You know, like, I'm happy that I was able to help you in that way. And I didn't even realize that, you know, it helped a lot, you know. Like, I was just like, yeah. But later that week, like, my birthday was great. Every person that I've ever, like, known, they all reached out to me. You know, every person who I had, like, a friendship with at some point in my life, or somebody that I was acquainted to and I spoke to them, they all reached out to me. And I just want to tell everybody thank you. If you guys are watching this, I want to tell everybody thank you. Like, I appreciate all of the gestures, the acts of kindness, just everything. My friends, like, they really showed out this year. They showed out. I was not expecting people to hurt me in that way, and that was great, you know. And it's different because, like, even though, like, some of my people, they're not here anymore, like, the ones that are here, like, they understand how I feel about that. They know that I'm very, 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 very emotional when it comes to family members and stuff. Like, I used to struggle with emotions, y'all. Like, when I was younger, like, I would have stuff that I could have read about, but I never cried about it. I used to struggle with expressing how I felt. And, you know, the people who are around me now, my friends, my family, you know, they really showed me how to express myself and how I want to portray myself to other people. Like, I don't want to come off as, like, a cold-hearted person, but, like, I had to do that to survive. You feel me? Like, that's just my reality, you know. And so I've gotten to this point where, you know, with this birthday, like, I just did so much reflecting and just thinking about everything, like, wow, everything I've been through, just all of the things that I've worked towards. And, like, I watched that video that I posted when I had my accident, and, like, I was brought straight to tears. Like, I really realized, like, I really survived that. Like, I really overcame that. You know what I'm saying? And when you overcome something, it's so hard to not feel emotional about it. It's so hard to not be proud of yourself. For a long time, I used to think that that was what I was supposed to do. But in reality, everybody don't heal the same way. Some people just can't brush off things. Some people just can't bounce back as quickly as others. Sometimes it just takes time. And that's what I had to learn. Like, life is just life. I don't know how else to explain it. There is no in between the lines of it. There's no book on how to, you know, every single situation that you might go through is not something that you're going to be able to just, like, you're not going to get the rule book on it, you know. You find your guidance, and you have to get so close and so strong to your spirituality. Like, that is a real thing. If you don't believe in nothing, you're never going to be able to survive all of this stuff. It's something that has to, like, stick with you. And whatever it is that sticks with you, that is going to keep you grounded to the point where you have these downfalls and stuff. It puts you back in line. Or, like, if you're in a successful, you know, state in your life where you're just making so much progress and you're just receiving all of your blessings, you're anticipating and manifesting everything that you've ever dreamed of, and you find yourself being big-headed, or you find yourself being selfish, and your life or the energy of the universe will find its way to bring you back to whatever beliefs you had before. It'll keep you grounded. It'll keep you. And that is one of the things that I've been experiencing. Like, I remember when I was really, really, really in a depressive state before I moved out. I'm gonna reflect on that a lot in this video. So I remember I used to pray on my knees every single night. I used to pray like, yeah, man, like, I'm gonna find a way to get up out of this situation. Even though my situation wasn't so bad, I was just really depressed because I was overworked and I wasn't happy, you know. And for a person to just not be happy and just, like, act like they're happy in front of everybody, Be your unique self 100% of the time. Be your authentic self 100% of the time, because it's a lot of fake people out here, and it's a lot of fake people that know that you are not a fake person, so they might have this unspoken animosity towards you. It's a lot of people that I have felt have had a unspoken animosity towards me because of the type of woman that I am. And that has, the way other people feel about you has nothing to do with you. Right? If it's a relationship with your parents, if it's a relationship with your siblings, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your friends, whoever, the way that somebody feel about you has nothing to do with you unless you did something crazy to them in the past. That's it. And you know, like as far as growth, like one of those things that I will say that can benefit everybody is if you were in the point in your life where you have done wrong to somebody and you know that you did something wrong, rather if you stole a pencil or whatever, it could be the smallest thing. You never know how people might hold grudges against you, is what I'm saying. So if you know that you have someone who has animosity towards you, and you know you did something for them to have that animosity towards you, you want to make amends with that person. And that is the part that a lot of women struggle with, and men too, but I'm going to speak on us with this because we have a hard time with admitting that we're wrong about something. We have a hard time with apologizing. We have a hard time with being able to accept that we might have been wrong about something. That is one of the things that we all struggle with. And I'm not even going to just exclude men from this because they do it too, but I'm specifically talking about my ladies here. You know, this sense of entitlement has to stop. Everyone who has expectations towards other people, that has to stop, because the only expectations you should have is expectations coming from you. You should expect yourself to make you feel a certain way. You should expect yourself to do certain things for yourself. So putting all that responsibility on somebody else is just going to ruin everything, and that's probably going to cause that animosity, that negative energy. Like, I know me personally, like I cannot walk in this world knowing that somebody got some type of animosity towards me, and I don't understand why they feel that way. I can't fathom why anybody would have any type of animosity towards me. You know what I'm saying? So like, unless I did something, I would know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I did something, I would know that, and I would own up to it. It might take me a little time because I'm me 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? I am me 100% of the time. So if I might have did something that I might not have had intentions on, like hurting somebody with, I wouldn't know unless I look back, really retract on what I did, like really dissected everything that I did. If I really felt in my gut that I might have did something wrong. That came with me like being considerate of other people's emotion. That was one of the things that I struggled with. Because I couldn't be emotional, I didn't know how to accept other people being emotional. That was like the self-reflection that I was going through. I'm really, really proud of how far I've come. I'm very proud of my progress. I'm very grateful. It took a long time for me to just be able to just accept the things that I was great for and the things that I accomplished, because I always downplayed it. I always felt like it just wasn't enough. I still feel like it's not enough. I'm never going to be satisfied. I accepted that with myself. I'm never going to be satisfied with everything that I do because I want more. And I want the people around me to want more. You know, I want to surround myself around people who just want to be on the same level. I want people who want to elevate, whether if it's mentally, spiritually, like whatever. You know, like I want people to elevate, you know, and I want the people around me to know that they are seen, to know that they are respected, to know that they are loved, to know that they are just cared for. Like, that's what I want. And so, like, me wanting that for other people, that's allowing me to, like, go through my own, like, self-evaluations and just really dissect all of the things that I want out of my life. Not just saying, oh, I want this, but to like really, really want it. And to like really want to put in the effort to get those things. Like, that is one of the things that I have like come across, like as far as like this growth and stuff. And you know, another thing I will say is being on the receiving end of things really does go hand in hand with your spirituality. You know, to attract good blessings or to attract blessings in general, you have to be one of those people that are able to accept those blessings. And sometimes we kind of mix it up with physical things, but a lot of the times it's not necessarily just physical. It could be a word of mouth from somebody. Some person might be talking to you and telling you something that is actually going to help you in the long run. You know, I think as far as as like being able to receive things physically, we should also be able to receive things emotionally, receive things, whether if it's a word of mouth, a word of pure intentions. Those are the type of things that we should also be able to receive as well. And I feel like that helps with your overall development, you know. And I've grown really, 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 you know, strong in listening to people, because you just never know what type of messages you might be getting. You know, I hate to say it, but like, I really feel like your ancestors communicate with you on the other side. And the way that they communicate with you, it might be through the mouth of somebody else. For me, I've learned that, and it's crazy that I'm saying this because it's so true for me. It might have been a phrase that somebody that I knew that they used to say or whatever. Somebody might like say it again, like bring it up, you know, and that to me, it means something. To me, it's like very important. It's not something that I can just ignore. It's definitely something that I should pay close attention to, I think, because why is this saying coming back to me? That's one of those things I got important. Being real with yourself is another thing too. It's like I said, like I used to struggle with not being able to be on the receiving end. Like when people used to try to help me and stuff, I used to play it off like, I'm good. And I really was good, you know what I'm saying? I was good. I don't lie. I was good, but like that extra help could have actually made me better. Because you can be good, but you can always be better. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, when I get that opportunity to receive those type of, you know, receive those blessings, let's just say that, let's just call it what it is. I really had to like realize, like you saying you good, but like you can always be better. Why not be better? Why just be good? Just be better. Be better. It ain't nothing wrong with being better. If you better now, then that means you're better than where you were yesterday or an hour ago or whatever. I just figured that would be something that's worthwhile. I really do find it very, very pleasing to know that there are people out here that are trying. All you can do is try. I really had to just evaluate everything, man. Like my mind just don't stop. I think that's probably one of my worst enemies, my mind. And it can also be one of my most greatest things that I've ever possessed. I'm growing as everybody is. And I'm really learning how to be on the receiving end of things. And I really want to share this journey with y'all. I want y'all to be able to see what my life is looking like now. Because when I first moved in my first apartment, I didn't have anything. I'm saying real, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember going through my blow-up bed phase. I remember when I got my bed. I remember when I got my first piece of furniture. I remember all of that shit, man. Like that shit crazy. Like I really came from nothing. I'm trying to make my nothing into something. Whatever that I thought was nothing, it was something to somebody else. But for me, it was just like a starting point. It was just like, man, I'm just trying to get my foot in the door. Like this is enough for me to just like get myself like swimming, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm swimming. Like at first I had these downfalls in my life too, but after like happiest moments, like I remember feeling like I was drowning. Last year I was feeling like I was drowning, y'all. Like I had all this weight on me. I was not happy. Physically, I was not happy. I'm like, what happened? Like, you know, like I was trying to figure out like where did I go wrong? I was blaming myself. I was feeling like I wasn't good enough. Like those are the type of things that I was going through. I gave it some time. I had to. I had no choice. I had to give it some time. And I really started to believe that my situation was because of me, and it was. But I was very unhappy. You know, like I didn't know how to get myself out of it. So I really grinded. Like I really put in that work. I really put in. So I wanted to look back at it and be like, I came from this. And like I'm saying, like me saying I came from nothing, knowing for a fact that I came from nothing. Like we talking about the struggles here. Aside from you being a college student, you already broke. But I was broke before I was a college student. You know, and now I'm at the point in my life where I'm okay with being able to like, if I have to pay for something out of the blue that might be like unexpected, like a blown out tire or something like that. Like it feels good to know that I don't have to scream for those type of things. It feels good to know that I don't have to like McDonald's and stuff if I want to eat some food. Like it feels good. There's people out here really struggling. I know people that struggling. I want to see them be better, but I can't help everybody, you know. Like I'm trying to get myself more established, and I want the people around me to be established was gonna be consistent. I promised that I said that was what I was gonna do this year. That was what my plan was, and I'm gonna continue to do it. I'm gonna continue to fight. I'm gonna continue to do everything that I said that I was gonna do. We will all rise above the surface, and that feeling of drowning and that feeling of constantly swimming. Because eventually your body gets tired. Eventually you get tired with that whole fighting for your life thing. And like when I finally had the opportunity, when I felt my downfalls and stuff, my hardships, I found I was like, man, I'm gonna float. I'm not gonna keep. Like I was like that little angry, like you know, like when Rocky was like training to become a boxer, and he was doing, and I said that, and that's exactly what I found myself doing. But I told myself, if I get this opportunity, I'm gonna float. I'm gonna sink to the bottom. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna keep trying to swim. I'm gonna float. And when I float, eventually I'll just rise above the water. I'll just be like a piece of wood, just wherever the waves take me, that's where I'm gonna go. I wish y'all nothing but gratitude, nothing but grind, and nothing but blessings, nothing but elevation. Until we meet again.